The Batman Arkham series is one of the best superhero video game franchises ever made, and is critically acclaimed for its amazing story and gameplay. However, one of the aspects that is sometimes overlooked is the disturbing and creepy side of the series. Like, there is a lot, and what better way to showcase all of it is to do an iceberg video. I'm presuming everyone who's clicked knows what an iceberg vid is, so I don't need to explain it. Before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it would help me out a lot, and you can always change your mind in the future. With that said, let's dive in because there's a lot of entries. Tier 1, Man-Bat. Kirk Langstrom, aka Man-Bat, is a minor Batman villain in Arkham Knight. He's most prominently seen in the Creature of the Night side mission, as the main objectives are to subdue the creature, and have to concoct a cure at Langstrom's destroyed lab, inject the cure into him, and then take Kirk to GCPD. Man-Bat is considered one of, if not, the creepiest character in the Arkham series, and I'll talk about the other creepy aspects of him in later entries. Killer Croc. Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, is a prominent antagonist throughout the Arkham series, appearing in basically all of the main Arkham games in some way. His mother died during childbirth, and his father left him, which placed him in the hands of his abusive aunt, which he later murdered. He then joined a travelling circus, but then it was attacked by the audience members, killing everyone besides Croc. This would cause him to later kill all these people, and well, the rest is history. Croc is definitely an unnerving character, especially when he's chasing after you in his lair in Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum intercom chime. You know it, everyone else knows it, it's an iconic gaming sound. It's really stuck with players over the years, and memes about people getting anxiety over it still crop up every now and then. Professor Pig. Laszlo Valentine, aka Professor Pig, is the main villain of the Perfect Crime side mission in Arkham Knight. He is a deranged man who is obsessed in making sure his Dollatrons, more on this later, are perfect. Pig is tracked down and defeated by Batman due to his own doing, as the people he killed and left tied up on the walls across Gotham was eventually investigated by Batman. He is then sent to GCPD, and that's the last we hear of him in the series. Definitely one of the creepiest characters in the franchise. Scarecrow. Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, is considered the secondary antagonist of the Batman Arkham series, and one of the most iconic Batman villains of all time. It doesn't even need to be explained why he's on this iceberg. He's the damn Scarecrow, literally the Batman villain that is the embodiment of fear itself. Due to this, more about him will be talked about in later entries, with one coming up literally right now. Scarecrow Nightmare segments. In Arkham Asylum, there are 3 boss segments related to Scarecrow, which are very disturbing, with the first one at the medical center, the second one at the Arkham Manor, and the final one at intensive treatment when Batman returns to it later in the game to access Croc's hideout. The segment at the medical center has Batman find Commissioner Gordon, who is deceased. He then goes to the morgue and sees 3 zipped up body bags, with 2 of them being his parents. The final one is Scarecrow himself, who jumpscares the player. Batman must then make it to the bat signal whilst avoiding Scarecrow's glare. The segment at the manor has Batman go down an endless hallway until it slowly transforms into Crime Alley, and we hear the dialogue from that night, where Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. Batman then sees Thomas and Martha Wayne's bodies on the ground. Afterwards, we walk away while hearing Jim comfort Bruce, and then Batman attempts to get to the bat signal while avoiding Scarecrow. The segment at intensive treatment starts off with a fake game crash, more on this later. This alone deserves its own entry. And then the intro of Arkham Asylum, just with the roles of Batman and Joker reversed. Batman is then on a gurney and Joker shoots him, leading to a game over screen. After that, Batman climbs out of a grave and sees other versions of himself eating rats and being very eccentric. And then, just like the other segments, Batman must make it to the bat signal to take down Scarecrow. These segments are just absolute peak, and the way Scarecrow is hunting you down like he's the predator and Batman's the prey is very terrifying. Man-Bat's jump scare. While grappling around Miagani Island after leaving Riddler's orphanage for the first time, you're almost certainly going to get jump scared by Man-Bat, which unlocks his side mission. This jump scare is considered the scariest moment in the Arkham series, and for good reason. It scared the crap out of many gamers the first time they played the game, myself included, like there's so many reactions to it on YouTube alone. Zsasz. Victor Zsasz is an antagonist in the Arkham series, who appears most prominently in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. He is a serial killer who is obsessed with adding tally marks to his body after each kill. He became this way after losing his parents and inheriting their fortune, which he later lost via gambling and the Penguin. He was then thrown out of the Iceberg Lounge and onto the streets of Gotham, where he was encountered by a man who demanded his money. Zsasz would then end the man's life, starting his killing spree. Many years later, Zsasz is killed by King Shark in the Kill Arkham Asylum comic. However, this is probably not canon, as Arkham comics have always been secondary to the games, and apparently from what I've heard, the comic is inconsistent with the actual game's intro. Zsasz is definitely an interesting character, with a tally mark gimmick making him very unique and disturbing. Fake game crash. As you walk down the hallway to get to Scarecrow in the first Fear segment at intensive treatment, the game suddenly crashes. However, after a few seconds, it's revealed to be part of the game. This scared a lot of players due to them thinking their game actually crashed. I remember seeing a YouTuber, I forgot who it was, that explained that the crash is meant to represent the player's fear this time instead of Batman's, so it's basically meta. Scarecrow's boat in Arkham City. Near the industrial district, there is a boat that can be accessed via solving a complex code with a cryptographic sequencer. The code is City of Terror, and when you enter the boat, the game suddenly shifts into first person. You can see at the end of the hallway that there's a Joker henchman on a chair. Approaching him and then zooming in causes this to happen. There's also bugs around, and a letter from Falcone saying, "Jonathan, I hope you find everything satisfactory. Mr. Fine was very specific about the shipping details, and we have followed them to the letter. By now, you will have received the initial 15 shipments. The rest are in transit and will be with you shortly." Secret Arkham City messages. If you use the cryptographic sequencer and go to 3 radio waves, which are 700 to 500, 500 to 900, and 200 to 500, you will hear a robotic voice speak an assortment of numbers.
9, 23, 9, 12.
These are revealed by the community to be a hidden message, as the 700 to 500 one spells out, "I will return, Batman," which was decoded by matching the numbers to the alphabet. So for example, 1 equals A, 2 equals B, etc. The 500 to 900 one was decoded to be, "You will pay for what you have done to me," as the players figured out that Z equals 1, but then you have to shift the numbers up by 3, so Z equals 4, Y equals 5, etc. The 200 to 500 was a lot more complicated, but was eventually revealed to be, "Fear will tear Gotham City to shreds," after people did the 1A method, which gives you these numbers, and then you gotta do all this stuff. It's a bit complicated. These messages were from Scarecrow, and just like the boat near the industrial district, these were to set up Scarecrow as the big threat in the next game, which was Arkham Knight of course. Azrael. Michael Lane, aka Azrael, is a prominent character in Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Originally a police officer, Lane underwent a test at a secret program which aimed at creating fighters that could protect Gotham. However, it caused major psychological issues, and so the GCPD fired him. He then was recruited into the Order of Saint Dumas, which is a secret society that aims to cleanse Gotham's criminals via any means, including killing, which is one of the reasons why Batman is against them. In Arkham City, Batman is constantly watched by Azrael, and when you approach him in each of the locations at each of the districts, he will say a cryptic line and then disappear. Scanning all the symbols from where he disappears creates a master sigil that fits over the map of Arkham City. Aligning it perfectly sets a waypoint near the church. Batman goes there and finally talks to Azrael, who basically predicts the events of Arkham Knight.
"I knew you would find me."
It wasn't hard. You left me a map. Who are you and what do you want? Why are you watching me?
"We have been given many names, but you will come to know me as Azrael, loyal servant to the Order of Saint Dumas."
Just what I need. Another secret society.
"I bring a message. Dark days are coming, Batman. The prophecy is coming true. You are the warrior who will close the gates of hell. You are the one who will save this day. And in doing so, events will occur that you cannot stop. From the ashes of Arkham, the fires will rage and Gotham will burn. And you will burn too."
I don't believe in fairy tales.
Believe what you will. The message has been delivered. We will meet again.
Speaking of Knight, Azrael returns in the Heir to the Cow side mission, where you meet him at different areas across Gotham and takes part in Batman simulations to prove his worth. After all of this, Batman investigates Azrael's brain and finds out the Order's evil intentions, to which Azrael appears. 2 endings can happen. If Azrael grabs his sword and swings it at Batman, he will avoid it and then knock out Azrael and takes him to GCPD lockup. If Azrael leaves the clock tower or destroys the sword, he and Batman will leave on good terms, with Azrael's goal to investigate the Order and make them pay. Azrael probably scared a few people when they first played Arkham City, as he's one of the main aspects in the series regarding the feeling of being watched. Hush. Thomas Elliot, aka Hush, is an antagonist in Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Originally, he was Bruce Wayne's best friend when they were kids, but after Elliot tried to get his parents killed in a car crash to inherit their money, he sought a personal hatred of Bruce Wayne because Thomas Wayne saved his mother's life. Many years later, by the time of Arkham City, Elliot killed many people and stole their faces in order to perfectly replicate his own face as Bruce Wayne, which he succeeds in. Batman eventually tracks him down to his hideout, however Hush escapes and leaves Arkham City. 9 months later, during the events of Arkham Knight, we first get a subtle tease to Hush, where Lucius says this line.
Lucius, open the parking lot entrance.
I thought you were here already, Mr. Wayne. Must be a glitch in the system. I'll get that checked immediately.
After Batman receives a lack of communication from Lucius, he investigates and sees Hush has taken him hostage. Batman then reveals his identity to Hush in order to save Lucius, and then they defeat him, and that's the last we hear from Hush. Very unnerving character, especially with the face cutting and impersonating Bruce Wayne. Joker's jump scares. Joker has a few jump scares in the Arkham series, but the most notable ones are the New Game Plus jump scare, where if you proceed to cremate his body like in a normal game, suddenly becomes alive and screams. The other jump scare is sometime after Man-Bat jump scares you. Joker will also do one similar, making a remark about how Batman looked when he saw Man-Bat, which is obviously a meta reference to how the player got scared of Man-Bat. Arkham Asylum. The Elizabeth Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane was the main asylum institution for Gotham City, aimed at rehabilitating people who are well criminally insane. It was founded by Amadeus Arkham in the 1920s, but was shut down prior to the events of Arkham Origins. However, after the events of Arkham Shadow, the place was eventually reopened. It is the main location of the titular Batman Arkham Asylum, and was heavily damaged by Poison Ivy's plans and the rest of Joker's takeover. After the events of the game, it's once again left to rot, but Tiger do eventually create a base of operations there. After Arkham City, Tiger is disbanded, and the asylum is well left to rot again, but Scarecrow uses the Arkham Mansion as one of his bases, which we see at the end of Arkham Knight. The asylum is a very interesting place, with the graveyard, all the inmates running around, the atmosphere. It's definitely up there as one of the creepiest locations in the Arkhamverse. Penguin's Eye. A lot of people think that Arkham Penguin's left eye has a monocle in it. However, that isn't the case. It's actually part of a beer bottle that was jammed into his eye by someone as a result of a bar brawl. Penguin retaliated by having both of that guy's eyes removed, and then left to walk across Gotham Freeway at rush hour, with the guy presumably dying. He didn't have the glass bottle removed as doctors deemed it impossible, but Penguin liked how it gave him a unique look. This aspect of Penguin is very distinctive, as most versions of the character just have a simple monocle, so Arkham Penguin does stand out from the rest of the other adaptations. Harvey Dent's transformation. While doing a court hearing for Irving Matches Malone, who is Bruce Wayne just under an alias and undercover, Jonathan Crane would approach the stand, and I'll play the clip because it's really good.
Just take it easy, guys. Keep this down.
Hey, hold it! He did this!
Oh God, Harvey! Are you okay?
Is he okay? Is he okay? Bastard.
Croc in Arkham City. After you beat Ra's al Ghul and leave Wonder City, you can alternatively go through the sewers, which will lead to the Industrial District. If you do, you can see the gate to the Industrial District is shut due to story reasons, but if you throw a Batarang at a button near this, Croc will emerge from the water, and this dialogue will occur.
You are not welcome here.
I'm not here to fight you, Croc. Let me pass.
Your scent is different. I smell death on you. I don't need to fight you, Batman. I just need to wait, and then I will feed on your corpse.
Joker Eyes Batman. At some points throughout Arkham Knight, Joker would take control of Batman's body for a few minutes. One of the most notable and disturbing moments is on Simon Stagg's airship, where he fights militia soldiers and they are basically begging Batman to stop. This is creepy because it's just unexpected from someone who's stoic and serious 24/7, especially to the soldiers. TN1 Bane. After the first boss fight with Bane in Blackgate Prison, he injects TN1 into his body, which effectively makes him bigger, stronger, and more dangerous as it's a super soldier serum. This accumulates into a boss fight where Batman is basically the prey and the one being hunted down this time. Paired with Alfred constantly saying how Batman will need to take down Bane in minutes else the TN1 will begin its full effect, and he'll be an unstoppable monster. Fortunately, Batman is able to defeat Bane, and due to the TN1, Bane suffers permanent amnesia. Protocol 10. Protocol 10 is a secret plan made by Hugo Strange and Ra's al Ghul that was basically to wipe out every single inmate and political prisoner in Arkham City. It was eventually shut down by Batman, but it killed so many people. Throughout the game, it was always constantly teased by Hugo Strange, saying it will commence in a certain amount of hours. Protocol 11. This is the command that Hugo Strange had installed in Wonder Tower in case he was compromised, which did happen when Ra's betrayed him and stabbed him through the chest. When Protocol 10 activates, it blows up Wonder Tower, causing Batman and Ra's to jump out. Interestingly, the passcode of Protocol 11 is Wayne. Tiny the Shark. Tiny is a great white shark that was somehow taken in by Penguin and eventually lived in the torture chamber at the museum. When Batman encounters Tiny, he punches the nose and Tiny retreats into the depths of the water. After this, Tiny is not seen in the game again. In Arkham Knight, there is a dead shark strung up near the docks of Bleak Island, who many believe was Tiny due to the similarities. However, in the GCP Lockdown DLC, Tiny is revealed to be alive and in his own area in Bloodhaven. His fate after this is unknown as of now. Cloudburst. The Cloudburst is a device that dispersed the fear toxin across Gotham in Arkham Knight. When Batman jumped into the fear gas to install the Nimbus power cell in the Batmobile, we see a disturbing section where people are fighting each other, but then he'll turn to Joker. Batman manages to install the cell and then gets into the Batmobile, but then gets jumpscared by Joker. Crime Alley. This is the location where Thomas and Martha Wayne get murdered by Joe Chill. Bruce is unharmed physically, but mentally, he developed PTSD over this incident, and it's one of the main primary factors as to why he became Batman. Crime Alley is featured in basically all the Arkham games, either by going there in free roam, or it's part of a hallucination. Notably in Arkham City, you can go there and pay your respects, and also hear a tape from Hugo Strange.
How does it feel, Wayne, to stand on the very stones that ran with your parents' blood? Do you feel sad? Full of rage? Or does that outfit help bury your feelings, hiding your true self? Oh, you are a truly extraordinary specimen. I look forward to breaking you.
Demon Jason Todd. During the intro sequence of Arkham Knight, Officer Owens approaches a man wearing a red hoodie supposedly smoking in the corner booth of Paulie's diner. When Owens gets the guy's attention, he gets jumpscared and we see a very disturbing face, and then the diner turns into an all-out brawl with demon people that Owens sees because of the fear gas. In the files, the guy's called Demon Jason Todd, basically telling us that the individual is Jason Todd. Joker's POV of Batman. At the end of Arkham Knight, we take control of Joker and move throughout Batman's mind. Joker eventually makes this creepy section of Batman statues that turn around when you're not looking at it, similar to the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. As you destroy the statues, Batman eventually jumps out from one of them and kicks you in the face. After all of that, Batman emerges from Joker's cell and approaches Joker and then kicks him into it, locking him away in Batman's mind forever. Fear gas Batman. When Scarecrow gets injected with the fear gas, he sees Batman as a demonic figure. Later, at the end of the Nightfall Protocol cutscene, the criminals see Batman as the same demonic figure. It's revealed that after his identity was compromised, Batman used fear gas on the criminals of Gotham. Copperhead. Copperhead is an antagonist in Arkham Origins, one of the 8 assassins after Batman's head in order to get the $50 million. During her segment at the Steel Mill, we see creepy hallucinations of Alfred berating Bruce, Commissioner Loeb saying how Batman is not a hero, and the bank manager shouting in regards to Batman not saving her. This is because Batman gets poisoned by her while interrogating Roman Sionis. Batman does manage to get cured and he defeats Copperhead, locking her up in a container. It's unknown what happens to her afterwards. Jason Todd's torture. In Arkham Knight, during the Panessa Studios section, we see very disturbing segments of Jason Todd getting tortured by Joker, and probably one of the reasons why the game received a mature rating. The torture lasted over a year according to Jason, until Deathstroke broke him out during the events of Arkham Asylum, assuming the comics are canon. We even see the lasting effects of this in Jason as he walks with a hunch back due to barbed wire and has a J scarred on his face for life. Mad Hatter. Jervis Tetch, aka Mad Hatter, is an antagonist throughout the franchise and is obsessed with Alice in the Wonderland story and created his own delusional narrative around it, kidnapping girls believing they are Alice. His section in Arkham Origins, Arkham City, and Knight are really unnerving, especially with Origins going through Wonderland with all the creepy imagery everywhere and the hypnotized thugs. Alfred's death. After defeating Firefly at Pioneer's Bridge, Batman gets a video call from Bane in the Batcave, as Bane knows who Batman is. He's left Alfred for dead and given enough life in him for some final words. Batman rushes back to the Batcave and locates Alfred, however he passes away, but due to electrocution shock gloves and Batman using them like defibrillators, Alfred is resuscitated by Batman. Frank Bowles' death. Officer Bowles was the corrupt guy at Arkham Asylum, under the payroll of the Joker. He helped Joker and Harley leave intensive treatment, but Joker was aware of Batman using Bowles' tipple to follow the trail to him, so Joker had him killed. When Batman discovers his corpse on a gurney, Bowles' mouth is wide open with green stains all over the bottom half of his face, and on the board on his body it says Dead End written in red. Nightfall Protocol. The end cutscene of Arkham Knight has Batman return to Wayne Manor after Scarecrow revealed his identity to the world. The place then blows up with the crowd outside witnessing it. To the crowd, people probably believe that someone blew up the place, which is kind of creepy if you think about it. Titan. Titan is the serum introduced in Arkham Asylum that when injected into an individual, they turn into a giant, raging monster that is mindless, with the exception of a few people. Joker took Titan at the end of the game and was bigger and more intelligent than the average one, as he still retained his intellect. However, he was still defeated by Batman. The Titan serum also developed long-lasting effects on Joker. Eventually it starts to kill him, which happens at the end of Arkham City. Batman would eventually destroy all the main Titan containers in the prison. Harley's pregnancy test. In the Steel Mill in Arkham City, you can find a pregnancy test that has a positive reading on it, indicating that Harley is pregnant with Joker's child. However, in Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC, if you go to the same area, you'll find multiple pregnancy tests with a negative reading on it, confirming she isn't pregnant by the time of that DLC. The box in the crib with Scarface also says, test may result false positive. Some people theorize that she was pregnant but lost the baby in a miscarriage caused by Batman during their encounter at the church, while others believe it was a scrap plot point made by Paul Dini, the writer of Asylum and City, who didn't return for Harley Quinn's Revenge. Arkham Asylum post-credit scenes. Arkham Asylum has 3 post-credit scenes featuring Bane, Croc and Scarecrow. All of them do the same thing, which is villains reaching out for the time container and grabbing hold of it. The canon one seems to be Scarecrow, as in the Arkham City story titled Scarecrow. It makes mention of people in-universe thinking that Scarecrow floated out to sea on a time container, which is probably Rocksteady's way of saying it's canon. Plus, narratively, it makes the most sense, as Scarecrow becomes the main villain in Arkham Knight, while Bane and Killer Croc are like side villains. And also, Scarecrow is further teased by that boat and hidden codes in the cryptographic sequencer. Joker's death foreshadowing. In Arkham City, there is some foreshadowing to Joker's death. The most iconic is the image of Kane carrying Abel at the very start of the game, which parallels Batman carrying Joker outside the Monarch Theatre. The next is this dialogue if you stay in the bell tower.
What are you waiting for? We both know how this is going to turn out. You're going to come and find me. You can't stop yourself, can you? Sometimes I wonder if all this will just end with one of us looking down at the other's corpse, trying to work out what to do next. The only question is, whose body will it be? I know who I'm rooting for. What about you? Now get out of there now, or you'll ruin everything.
Tier 2. Amadeus Arkham. Amadeus Arkham is the founder of Arkham Asylum and someone who went through horrific tragedies. His mother, Elizabeth Arkham, suffered from dementia and was eventually euthanized by Amadeus. After this, a psychopath named Martin Mad Dog Hawkins murdered Amadeus' wife, Constance Arkham, and his daughter, Harriet Arkham. When Hawkins was recaptured and taken back to Arkham Asylum, Amadeus still had the belief that Hawkins could still be rehabilitated, but this was false as he later killed Amadeus' secretary. On the anniversary of Amadeus' family's death, he would kill Hawkins via electrocution, which is what gets Amadeus admitted to his own asylum, locked away, and eventually dies. Spirit of Arkham. The Spirit of Arkham was an alternate personality created by Quincy Sharp due to Hugo Strange's manipulation and his own mental illness. Sharp found hidden messages from Amadeus Arkham, which talks about his entire life, which kickstarted the Spirit of Arkham personality. After Batman finds the last Chronicles of Arkham, he goes to where he left Sharp. However, when he enters the room, Clayface asks why the warden took off. Batman then goes up and sees that Sharp is gone. However, there's one last symbol for him to scan. Sharp's main goal in his personality is to kill the Joker. Shadow Batman. Shadow Batman is a being from Arkham Shadow that emerges when Batman gets induced with Project Umbra, the predecessor to Scarecrow's fear gas. It is the side of Batman that represents his negative aspects. After a long boss fight, Batman overcomes Shadow Batman and mentally breaks free from the gas. Scarecrow's face in Arkham Knight. Many people think that Scarecrow's face is just a mask. However, this is not the case, as removing his hood via mods shows his actual face. Plus, some militia soldier conversations also allude to this.
Have you seen him? Yeah, up close. He's done something to his face, hasn't he? Looks like he's taken a knife and cut chunks out of it. Rumor is he got his face torn off by some freak called Killer Croc. Really? Looks deliberate to me. Yeah, well, I guess he figured he should look the part. You know, like a scarecrow.
Wonder City. Wonder City is an abandoned city left to rot underneath Old Gotham, which later became Arkham City. It was created in the 19th century by Ra's al Ghul and his slaves, and then Ra's created the Mechanical Guardians, who are advanced AI and are protectors of Wonder City. The city was powered by Lazarus as well, acting as some sort of renewable energy. However, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, as Ra's was killing innocent people behind the scenes via the Mechanical Guardians, and Lazarus was turning the Wonder City residents insane, to the point where the authorities had to step in and shut down the city entirely, and send all the insane people to Arkham Asylum. Ra's would disappear from the public eye, and Wonder City would eventually be built over, leaving the place forgotten to time. Wonder City is a very interesting and creepy location, as the place just froze in time, with all the 19th century shops and equipment left there. It's very similar to Rapture from Bioshock, especially with the residents turning insane. Tiger guards have no free will. In Arkham City, it's shown to us that Tiger is full of individuals under Hugo Strange brainwashing. Like the entry said, they have no free will and can never get terrified unless Batman does an inverted takedown on them. Lunatics. The Lunatics are an enemy type in Arkham Asylum that can be difficult to take down as they aren't like normal thugs. These individuals were left forgotten and were lobotomized by Hugo Strange and then left at the penitentiary. The Lunatics scared so many players as they just jump out of nowhere, and the noises they make can be very startling. Solomon Grundy's Shrine. On Founders Island, you can find this small room with a shrine dedicated to Solomon Grundy in it. There is a song playing of a child singing the Solomon Grundy rhyme. Scanning this also unlocks one of the riddle story. It's unknown who the individual who made this shrine is. Unusual death scenes. There are some death scenes that feel odd and out of place from the usual ones, like ones where Batman is present in them as a lifeless body, or ones that appear as cutscenes like the GCPD mission, where filming it shows a cutscene of the militia storming in and gunning everyone down in a building. Bane's addiction to venom. In Bane's hideout, there is a tape that can be found, and when you view the tape, it's Bane talking about his addiction to venom, and it's quite unsettling.
It is said that which does not kill you makes you stronger. But that which makes you stronger can often kill you. Addiction is a weakness, one that must be overcome. Venom has become my addiction, my weakness. To free myself, I have tried many things. For a time, I sought to eradicate venom and wipe those who manufacture it from the face of the earth. But lately, I've gravitated towards Project TN1, a replacement drug which would eliminate Venom's addictive properties and holds the promise of a permanent effect. If it works, I would no longer have need of the delivery system. Another weakness. While early tests had to be terminated immediately, the latest subjects seem at least physically stable. But side effects are severe. Immediate and permanent long-term memory loss, followed by a general degradation of brain function that leaves the subject primitive. Testing continues. The latest formula shows promise. Once I've eliminated the bat, I will dedicate myself to finding a suitable volunteer for my tests. End of recording.
Ra's al Ghul's condition in Arkham Knight. After the freefall in Arkham City, which ended badly for him as he stabbed himself and then landed on the Arkham City sign, impaling his chest, Ra's was taken away by the League, and by the time of Arkham Knight, was in a terrible condition as he was brought back to life too many times, with the Lazarus stream all that's keeping him alive. Officer Owens. Officer Owens is a player character during the intro sequence of Arkham Knight, and one of the survivors of the Pauli's Diner incident. If Owens shoots at other people at the diner, the officers here will make note that Owens may lose his badge, but if you don't shoot anyone, the officers will be shocked about how he didn't shoot anyone. Later in the game, you can find Owens sitting on a chair by the GCPD elevator, visibly traumatized from what happened, and also has different dialogue depending on what you did at the diner. Batman and killed the Justice League. This is the only entry on the iceberg regarding this game, but Batman in it is quite terrifying at times, especially in this section where the squad are being hunted down by him. And because it's not actually Batman, it's a clone, it's gonna kill them. There's also moments throughout the game where Batman is watching Task Force X, similar to Azrael in Arkham City, and don't forget about the boss fight against him, which was him as Demon Fear Gas Batman, but that boss fight was kinda ass to be honest. The morgue. In Arkham Asylum, when you first enter the morgue during the first Scarecrow segment, you can hear creepy voices telling you to get out of there, and you shouldn't be in there. Also, the morgue doors are opening and closing aggressively. After you beat Scarecrow, you can find a jar at the morgue with a nose, lips, and ears which belong to Warren Wright, aka the Great White Shark. Calendar Man stories. In Arkham City, you can find Calendar Man in the basement of the courthouse. If you talk to him on each of the main holidays and every month, he will tell you a disturbing story regarding his murders on each of those specific days. Like how on Thanksgiving, he killed an entire family, or on Christmas, he snuck in Judge Harkness's Christmas party and killed him via hanging, which literally just after, or maybe during the events of Arkham Origins. If you want to see the rest of these stories, because there are a lot, I'll put a link in the description. However, there is a secret dialogue for him which I'll touch on later. Batman jump scare. During the section where you play as Jim Gordon and enter Panessa Studios, you encounter the Joker infected in their cells. If you turn around after letting them talk to you, Batman will jump scare the player, which many found this one quite scary due to how unexpected it was on the first playthrough. Joker therapy sessions. After specific moments of the story in Arkham Asylum, you can enter the visitor center where Joker basically acts as your therapist. Later in the game, if you go back there, there'll be more Joker mannequins, and during this part, if you keep turning around, Joker will be in different postures or in a different position entirely, getting randomly spotted in a Predator section. So picture this. You are at a Predator section, you are maybe doing well, like you've kinda cooked, and you've taken down a few gunmen, but suddenly off screen you are spotted by a random henchman and they immediately shoot you, which probably startle the player, and then panic and flee to the gargoyles. This could also be the same with combat, where you're doing well, but then someone off screen punches you and your combo is gone, but that's kinda less scary than the Predator section. Elliott Memorial Hospital. Located on Miagani Island and named after the Elliott family, the Elliott Memorial Hospital serves the primary hideout of the Loyalists and Ra's al Ghul. The place is very unnerving, as it's been left abandoned by society. What was once a thriving hospital that saved lives is now a base of operations for assassins, a shell of what it once was. The ambience and atmosphere also adds more to the abandonment. Luke Oliver. This individual is the name of a man who won a contest held by Rocksteady, and the reward was for him to be placed somewhere in Arkham Asylum. Luke Oliver can be found inside a cell at Penitentiary, in the same place where Sharp and Clayface are located. He seems to be one of the lunatics, and makes strange noises and does erratic movement. He has 2 arms, but because it's not in his sleeve, it gives the illusion that he only has 1. Luke Oliver's name can also be found on Joker's party list, when you take it from Harley. Clayface in Arkham Asylum. In a penitentiary, you can find Clayface in a cell posing as Aaron Cash, begging to be let out of the cell. There's also a sign saying, "Do not approach. Inmate may be impersonating other personnel." And when you go into detective mode, you see he has no skeletal structure. After freeing Sharp and going back down to Clayface, you'll see that he's now impersonating Sharp and saying how the one Batman saved is an imposter. If you turn around and turn back, he is now Commissioner Gordon, who if you speak to him, simply just laughs at you. As I said earlier in the Spirit of Arkham section, Clayface asks why the warden took off. Penguin blows up the bridge. While Batman is in the old GCPD building, Penguin traps him in there and then blows up the bridges to cut off Joker's forces as they are heading over to Park Row. The way you hear the giant explosion from inside and Batman saying how it doesn't sound good is also an underrated fear aspect of the game, as it's unknown what happened until we actually leave the building. Clayface Joker foreshadowing. During the boss fight against Clayface Joker, if you go into detective mode, you can see that Joker doesn't have a skeletal structure, which is a clear nod to the fact that he's Clayface. There's also other foreshadowing like the fake Joker gag, the conversation between Joker and Harley in the steel mill, and the real Joker coughing while Clayface Joker makes his big speech on the TV.
Crazy coincidences, and then bang! They tell you what it's all about.
Hush's Hideout. Located near the courthouse, Hush's Hideout is quite disturbing to say the least. There's all the surgical equipment everywhere, the weird teddies, the whispering ambulance, one of Scarecrow's fear gas canisters, the newspapers on the faces. There's also the same dead end writing from Asylum, which is located on Frank Bolz's body. Definitely an eerie location. Azrael watching Bruce Wayne. When you first enter Arkham City with Jack Ryder and the other political prisoner, if you look up at this rooftop, you can see Azrael watching Bruce and then disappearing, similar to what he does with Batman. This could be a hint that Azrael knows Bruce Wayne as Batman. Only You. Only You is a song created by the Platters and is featured in the Arkham series. In the Arkham City credits, an anonymous voice message can be heard by Joker of him singing Only You. This message was created shortly before his death. Only You also appears in Arkham Knight as the background music in Paulie's Diner. Ra's al Ghul in Arkham Asylum. Near Dr. Young's office, you can find a body bag with a foot poking out of it, which has the tag Ra's al Ghul on it. It's also a riddle which, if you scan it, it unlocks his character bio. Later in the game, after you scanned it, you can find out the body is missing. Presumably, the League took Ra's. How Aaron Cash lost his hand. Aaron Cash's most notable trait is that he has a hook for a hand. The reason why he has this is because during a riot at the Asylum, Killer Croc intervened and bit Cash's hand off, leading him to develop a fear of Croc. Political prisoner assassination. When you encounter the distressed political prisoner on the roof of the old Gotham FM building, he talks to you about how someone is after him and that he works for Strange. However, mid-conversation, the political prisoner gets cooked. The culprit is eventually revealed to be Deadshot, but the prisoner getting killed in front of Batman and the player was probably very unexpected on the first playthrough. It just goes to show that even if you're Batman, you are never truly safe in Arkham City. Second Hush victim dialogue. During the identity theft side mission in Arkham City, Batman and Oracle have this eerie conversation after Batman analyzes the second victim of Hush.
Bruce, I don't know how to say this, but...
What's wrong, Barbara?
I've been thinking about the identity theft case. Don't get angry. But how can you actually be sure that it wasn't you who killed those people? I mean, they were your fingerprints at the scene.
What did you say?
Not intentionally, but clearly you're not well. That place is full of maniacs who could take advantage of a situation like that. Think about it. What if Crane got to you again? You know Strange's reputation. Maybe he planted the idea back when you met him. I don't like it, but...
It wasn't me. I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry. Well, you know.
Deceased Tiger Guard from trailer. In Arkham City, you can find a deceased Tiger Guard that Hugo Strange was torturing in the Arkham City trailer. Pretty creepy, but it's cool they did this to connect to the trailer. Iron Heights Penitentiary. This is the prison that is located on an airship. Due to the riot that occurred started by Croc, who was captured by Iron Heights prior, the ship crashed into the Gotham Bay. The reason was because Warden Rankin tortured Croc and the other prisoners with no remorse at all. There's a tape that can be found after beating the side mission, which is very disturbing.
Your introduction began some time ago.
You can't do this! I got raped!
We found food to be an adequate delivery mechanism. 3 square meals a day. By now, the serum has been fully absorbed.
No! Let me go!
More sedative. I don't want to chewed off tongue again. Scalpel.
What are you doing? No! No!
Stay awake. That's it. Concentrate.
Oh, God! My finger! You cut off my damn finger!
If the experiment's a success, it'll grow back.
Tier 3. Cyrus Pinckney Lore. Cyrus Pinckney was an architect and a major character in regards to the 19th century side of Gotham City, and has quite a bit of lore. He came to Gotham most likely in hopes to improve the architecture. However, he was assaulted, and the case went to court. But soon enough for Cyrus, this court case became an opportunity, as he met Solomon Wayne, Bruce Wayne's ancestor. After showing Wayne his work, Pinckney and him became friends, and Solomon ran the financial side of things, which, after a while, led to a positive change in the architecture in Gotham. Pinckney would eventually meet Henry Cobblepot, Penguin's ancestor, and immediately felt off by him. He was also Wayne's rival as well, which probably added more to the dislike. Henry Cobblepot will also come to dislike the two even more when he was driven out of business by Solomon Wayne's hotel and lost his opportunity to buy land from the two, since they were scared that Gotham's heart and character would be lost from Cobblepot's purchase. After this, Pinckney would meet a young Amadeus Arkham, who was a medical student at the time, and eventually helped Amadeus design what would be Arkham Asylum. As time went on, the financial status of Solomon Wayne and Cyrus Pinckney would drop, and with no one else to go to, Cyrus, unknowingly to Solomon, went to Henry, which did provide financial support, but Pinckney had a feeling there was a catch, and that would be proven correct when Henry asked Pinckney for help on a munitions factory, which Pinckney was heavily opposed to, as he thought that went against everything him and Solomon stood for. Pinckney would then ask the mayor if he could introduce a bill to ban weapon production in Gotham, and when this bill was passed, it made Henry absolutely furious. Pinckney knew that Cobblepot was up to something, and was also shocked that Henry's son Theodore Cobblepot was in the running for mayor. At Cyrus Pinckney's 40th birthday, held by Henry, Cyrus would suddenly collapse after drinking a glass of wine. His death was mourned all over the city, a sudden tragic end to an architect who just wanted what was best for Gotham's landscape. But Cyrus Pinckney was still alive. I'll let the man himself tell you the lore.
January the 14th, 1855. My God, it worked! Amadeus truly is a genius. Oh, you've come this far, dear reader. Allow me to explain. I learned Cobblepot intended to poison me, and so we endeavored to replace his tainted wine with one of our own creation, as expected. I choked, I sputtered, and then, I passed. But it was not poison I consumed, rather something made by Amadeus. His concoction enabled me to enter a soporific state so profound that even to the keenest of physicians, I appeared a corpse. Yet here I am, resurrected. And now I will have my revenge. Henry Cobblepot will pay for what he's done.
An interesting turn. In trying to solve one murder, you've discovered the origins of another.
Henry Cobblepot.
Yes. City records say it was an automobile accident that killed him not long after Cyrus's supposed passing. But now we know the truth. He was murdered by the man he thought he killed.
What about Pinckney?
It appears that's a mystery that must endure a while longer.
Whatever happened to Cyrus Pinckney after the death of Henry Cobblepot remains a mystery, but Arkham Shadow did add some new aspects to this rabbit hole, as in 1910, Cyrus's grandson, Cyrus Pinckney III, investigated the ancient ruins in Blackgate, which us, the players, thought was Pinckney I, which would have contradicted the law since Pinckney died in 1855. However, in the Shadow post-credit scene, we can find a newspaper about how, according to forensic historians, the journal pages might have been forged by Cyrus Pinckney III, but then also says there may be some truth to them. It's very weird. Also in Arkham Shadow, there's a second grave for Cyrus Pinckney.
The second grave for Cyrus Pinckney outlived his 10. Was his vault in Burnley fake?
People say there's a skeleton inside it that is just barely visible, but I just couldn't see it, even when I played the game and found the grave. With the cancellation of the Arkham Shadow sequel, and the fact that Rocksteady probably won't touch on this, the Cyrus Pinckney mystery will sadly probably remain unresolved. Joker-fied pictures and statues. When infected, you can see different billboards and statues that become Joker-fied. One of the most notable ones is that if you look at the Lady of Gotham and then lightning strikes, it will briefly turn to Joker before turning back to its original look. Another one is while engaging with thugs on the street, one of them has a chance to become Joker, however looking away or going to detective mode returns the thug back to normal. Watcher in Arkham Shadow. While Malone is being escorted to his cell by the Tiger Guards, you can see a dark figure watching Malone from a gargoyle before disappearing. Many theories have come up to explain this mysterious individual, ranging from a Talon to a League member or even an unknown vigilante. However, I think it's clear it's Shadow Batman, and is there to foreshadow the Project Umber section.
Disturbing thug dialogue. A lot of the dialogue by the henchmen in the Arkham games are just there for humorous and comic relief. However, there are some which are just downright horrifying. Here are two that are considered in that category.
That place is locked down tighter than my mother on prom night.
What the hell does that mean?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I do.
Me too.
We've got more important things to be dealing with, like, what are we gonna do if Batman's taken down the Penguin?
Maybe we could go see your mother.
Don't even go there.
I think we touched a raw nerve there. What's the deal? Is your mommy the town bike?
No.
I bet she is.
If you must know, on her prom night she got a little drunk.
I told you.
She got a little drunk and killed her classmates. Butchered them all with a potato peeler.
What?
So on prom night, we try to make sure she's tied down. You happy?
I guess.
And what if the thing that happens is we freeze to death?
Then we can do what they did on that plane crash in the mountains. If one of us dies, the rest of us can eat him.
Are you insane?
Maybe I am, but give it time. When we've not eaten for a few days, and you maggots are shivering, we'll all be feeling a little crazy, you know? I know I'll be looking at you like you're a side of pork chops. And you know what? What? I love pork chops.
Starro and Batgirl DLC. In the Matter of Family DLC, there is a hidden area in Seagate Amusement Park which has Starro, a major villain of the Justice League, held captive in some pod. Posters around the park show he was going to be part of some sort of attraction, but because Seagate never opened, Starro was left abandoned. I made a video on this Easter egg a few years ago on my other channel, and someone who did QA testing of Arkham Knight from early alpha through to the DLC commented on the short saying, putting Starro in like this was the idea of producer Justin Verquise, who specifically did not want to have an achievement or anything for finding this room, to keep it as mysterious as possible. Court of Owls. The Court of Owls are a secret society in Gotham who manipulate the city's politics and kill people who get too close to discovering a criminal organization. Members are notable for wearing creepy owl masks and well-dressed suits. They exist in the Arkham series as background lore. In Arkham Origins, at the Royal Hotel, you can see 2 statues of the court's Talons while hanging below Vicky Vale's helicopter. The Talons are the assassins that take orders from the court. In Pioneer's Bridge, there's a nursery rhyme about the court saying, "The Court of Owls watches all the time, ruling Gotham from shadowed perch, behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth, they watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word about them, or they'll send a talon for your head." In Arkham Shadow, they are also referenced in this conversation between Anarchy and the Question.
Like your Gotham Illuminati and their zombie assassins. No, I never said they were zombies. They were pumped so full of drugs, they kept coming after you shot them. The GCPD's redacted files spell it out, Lonnie.
Enigma's secret message in GCPD. In the server room at GCPD in Arkham Origins, you can find a hidden hexadecimal message that can be decoded with the hex-to-text method. It says, "Joining the GCPD was the easiest thing I ever did. I will find out all of their dirty little secrets. By the time they know what I know, it will be too late. This is only the beginning." This is obviously made by Enigma, as he was the head of the Cyber Crimes Division in GCPD, and has blackmailed many of the corrupt officials and cops in Gotham. Harley Quinn's credit dialogue. During the credits of New Game Plus, you can hear Harley singing a creepy version of the Hush Little Baby song.
There. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna kill for you the whole damn world.
This was another thing that people linked to Harley's pregnancy, just before the confirmation that it was a false positive. Dead Man's Point. This is the cliffside at Arkham Asylum, where inmates usually go to take their own life. Even when you're heading there, there's skulls and other skeletons remain scattered around. Batman apparently saved an inmate from death there, and while doing so, discovered a cave which would later become the Asylum's Batcave, fear gas in Arkham City. In one of the Riddler rooms, there's canisters of Scarecrow's fear gas laying around, which can be seen properly with the remote batarang. In Hush's hideout, like I said earlier, there's also canisters of fear gas, which led to people speculating that Hush and Scarecrow were going to team up in Arkham Knight. This was apparently Paul Dini's take on the game, but because he didn't do Arkham Knight, it was just Scarecrow as the main villain, with Jason as the secondary antagonist.
Mark Hamill, this is the weird coincidence that Arkham is in Mark Hamill's name, the voice actor for Joker in Rocksteady's Arkham games, Batman the Animated Series, and more DC projects.
Nightwing's death in Arkham VR. During the game, Batman sees that Nightwing has been murdered in cold blood, and by an attacker who is more skilled than Grayson. It is then revealed that it was Batman himself that did it, under the effects of Joker's manipulation. However, it was all just a nightmare set after Arkham City, but before Arkham Knight. More on this in a later entry. Early Man-Bat sighting. When you leave the clock tower for the first time and finish the call of Jim, you can see Man-Bat flying in the distance before dive-bombing out of view. This is most likely just after Kirk Langston's transformation and his wife's death, as he's seen flying from that area where the laboratory is located. Zsasz in Arkham Knight. While not a direct antagonist in the game, Zsasz is still in Gotham behind the scenes. While looking for what happened to Oracle, you can see Zsasz appear in the camera for a bit. On Founders Island, you can find 3 people who have been killed by Zsasz. He was originally meant to have his own side mission, however is cut, most likely in favour of Professor Pig. "I was there at your beginning, and I'll be there at your end." This is the line said by Calendar Man in Arkham City, after setting the date to December 13th, 2004, the date Rocksteady was founded. Calendar Man had a cameo in Arkham Origins, which was set in Year 2, one of the beginning years of Batman's career, and during the Nightfall Protocol, which is the end of Batman in a way, he can be seen with the crowd, fulfilling his chilling comment. Joker Fish Jumpscare. During the Batgirl DLC in Arkham Knight at the Ghost Ship, Batgirl will get jumpscared by a Jokerized fish. This is considered by many to be an underrated jumpscare, as not many people who played Arkham Knight played the DLCs. Two-Face Thug over Acid. As Batman infiltrates the steel mill the second time round in Arkham City, there is a part where these 2 Joker thugs have a Two-Face thug dangling over Acid, tied up to a crane. After you take down the Joker thugs, you can free the Two-Face one, but as you're about to blow up the wall, the thug becomes aggressive and tries to kill you, which the majority of players will knock out. Deacon Blackfire lore. Deacon Blackfire is the main antagonist of the Lamb to the Slaughter side mission in Arkham Knight. Supposedly, he was a Native American shaman that hundreds of years ago, and being found guilty of murder, was sealed in a tomb underground and shot with arrows. Blackfire claims that the secret to immortality is bathing in human blood. After Jack Ryder investigates Blackfire, he is kidnapped and placed in a ritual at the Lady of Gotham. Ryder is eventually saved by Batman, and Blackfire is apprehended, but interestingly, after Cash runs Blackfire's prints, crimes related to him date back to the 1920s, baffling Cash, which would imply that Blackfire is indeed telling the truth regarding his origin and being hundreds of years old. The Teddy Bears. Mainly in Arkham City, at Crank Toys and Hush's hideout, you can find creepy teddy bears that look straight out of some horror movie. Hush's hideout was already creepy enough without those teddy bears. Courthouse Acid Pit. Many people simply enter the courthouse and see the acid pit and don't give it too much thought. However, when you think about it, it's a very disturbing aspect of the courthouse. People are dropped in there by Two-Face, suffering one of the worst ways to perish. When playing as Batman, you can actually go into the acid pit and, well, die. Hush in the church. After you beat the Joker thugs at the church, you can find Hush lying on a bed holding a container. You can speak to the doctor nearby who will tell you all about Hush and why he's there.
What happened to this prisoner?
He's not a prisoner. He's a doctor.
Was he attacked?
No. It's terrible, really. He transferred here, but I think it was too much for him. We didn't realize he was losing it. And we should have noticed.
Noticed what?
He was stealing supplies. Anesthetics, mostly. He used them when he cut his own face off. I found him. He was sitting in the corner, laughing. His face was missing. I wrapped him up and sedated him. Who knows what's in that case he's holding on to? We couldn't pry it loose.
When Bruce Wayne is mentioned on the radio nearby, Hush has repeated dialogue, saying Wayne in anger. Joker mannequins. Joker mannequins appear many times in the Arkham series, and they are quite unnerving. As I mentioned earlier, the creepiest encounter of them is in the visitor center, where they change position when you look away, assuming the real Joker's doing anything to them. They also scattered around the place in Harley Quinn's revenge, with one of them being located on top of the steel mill in some sort of Joker shrine. Joker Shrine in Panessa Studios. In this area at Panessa Studios, you can find a shrine dedicated to the Joker, presumably made by Harley Quinn or one of her men. There's this creepy music playing, and a TV with Joker's face on it that has replaced the statue's head. It's also a riddle a player must scan, in order to advance the Riddler side mission. Ivy plant pots. After leaving the botanical gardens, Ivy's plants have started to terraform the asylum. One of the plants is her plant pods that when the player approaches, it releases spores that lock onto Batman. There's a cutscene that shows a lunatic dying to the spores to basically show the player that it's dangerous. If a player first encounters the plant pods and doesn't know that the Batarang destroys the spores, it could be a tense showdown when the spores are coming right at you, and all you can do is run. However, the plant pods are quite simple to defeat, by simply pressing one button. Arkham Asylum Abandoned Chamber. In the botanical gardens, Batman must traverse through an abandoned chamber that has no surfaces that can be grappled to. There's this ominous music playing in the background, and if you're entering for the first time during the story, you can hear Joker singing. Definitely a creepy area, an already creepy game. Riddler's cell in Arkham Asylum. At the holding cells in intensive treatment, you can find what was originally Riddler's cell, as there's green question marks and green footprints on the walls. Originally though, the cell was going to look much more creepier, as the question marks and footprints were red, but was removed during development. Scarab. The Scarab from the Chronicles of Arkham's tablets in Arkham Asylum has made other appearances in the Arkham series, particularly in Arkham Knight, where it's in some areas of Gotham's infrastructure. Pretty neat callback to the Asylum. Paulie's Diner Aftermath. If you head to Miagani Island, you can find Paulie's Diner, and it's a complete wreck due to what happened there earlier in the night. Once a thriving business, now a victim to Gotham's evil. Copperhead's poison in Arkham Knight. In Ace Chemicals, you can find a vial containing Copperhead's poison which was prominently seen in Arkham Origins. Many theorise that this is included in Scarecrow's fear gas, however it's unknown if that's the case. Still bizarre though that Copperhead's poison just laying around there in Ace Chemicals. Joker's voice messages. In Wayne Tower, you can listen to various voice messages left by individuals, including one by Lex Luthor. However, the last two messages, which are audio hallucinations by Joker, are quite frightening as he pretends to be Bruce Wayne's parents.
You have two messages. Bruce, this is your father calling. It's time we had a talk, son. You know, about the dressing up. Next new message. Bruce, this is your mother calling now. I just wanted to say... Oh, sorry. It's so funny, you know, because they're dead.
Joker's hyenas. Bud and Lou are Joker's two hyenas that have a very minor presence in the franchise. However, they still have a tragic end. When you enter the war room in the museum, you can see a cabinet with the two hyenas in it, and pressing the button reveals that Penguin had them shot and stuffed. Joker on the wheelchair. Later in Arkham Knight, after Barbara's death, if you head back to the Chinatown safe room, where Barbara was killed, you will find that she is gone, and Joker is in the wheelchair in her place, and jokes about Barbara's disappearance.
Hang on, did you leave something here? It was sort of, body-shaped, wasn't it?
This is one of the many clues that she was actually still alive, and her whole death was fake. Tier 4. Bank Manager's face. After Joker blows up the vault, Batman and the bank manager are launched out, making Batman black out. When he wakes up, he sees the black manager's disturbing lifeless face right in front of him, smiling. This is considered one of the scariest moments in Arkham Origins, and to me, it's probably one of the creepiest moments in the entire series. It got me good back in the day. Wake up, Bruce. In Batman Arkham VR, there's a secret sequence of numbers that can be heard in the Batcave surveillance area by tuning into the frequency 254 MHz.
23, 1, 11, minus 1, 4, 20, 15, minus 8, 19, 9, 12, minus 10, 10, 12.
If you use the Caesar cipher to decode the message, it says, "Wake up, Bruce." This, and the many alarm clocks you can hear in the game, is just a really unnerving way to tell the player that Arkham VR takes place in a dream. Anarchy's fate. Since Anarchy was last heard from in Arkham Shadow and has never showed up again in Arkham Knight, his fate has been a point of contention recently. All we know is that no one in universe really has a clue as to where Lonely Matron is. Even thugs on the street ask if anyone's seen Anarchy. Theories regarding his fate are either the government has him locked away, which is supported by cash.
One mask and jacket worn by Anarchy, aka Lonnie Machin. I wasn't even a cop when this kid tried to hit Gotham. No one's seen him since. No one knows where they're keeping him. I guess the government don't like anarchists too much.
Anarchy meeting a gruesome fate by Killer Croc, him being the guy smoking in Paulie's diner, etc. However, Arkham Shadow seems to suggest that the Court of Owls might have had something to do with Anarchy's disappearance, because of the video clip shown earlier in the Court of Owls entry. Inmate head in jar. At a medical centre on Arkham Asylum, particularly in the sanatorium, you can find an inmate's head in the jar. This is the head of a scrapped enemy type, which was the Straitjacket henchman. He also appears in a remastered version of Silent Night in Arkham Knight. Dollatrons. The Dollatrons are the lobotomized henchmen of Professor Pig, and are seemingly immune to pain. As Batman says, the people who became Dollatrons are suffering a fate worse than death. After the events of the Perfect Crime side mission, the remaining Dollatrons were incarcerated at a cell in GCPD. How criminals see Batman. Batman is feared across the criminal underworld, and for good reason. In Arkham Knight, you can find this graffiti art all over the city, which is possibly meant to represent how the criminals see Batman. King Bat. In Arkham Origins, there's this mini side plot with Alfred and this King Bat, which Alfred dubbed himself. It starts off with Alfred discovering the bat and asking Batman not to anger it. Over time, it delves into the bat stealing Alfred's roast chicken, gifting him a guano and a dead rat. In Alfred's last dialogue about it, Batman becomes curious regarding the bat and plans to capture it. However, Alfred is against that. Some people thought that the bat was Man-Bat, however we know that can't be true because of Arkham Knight. The identity of the King Bat is probably that bat that appears prominently in the intro cutscene, and the one just before Batman returns to Blackgate. She-Bat. In Arkham Knight, after beating the Creature of the Night side mission, if you return back to Kirk Langton's laboratory, you'll see that Francine's body has mysteriously disappeared. On the TV it says "Forever, my love" in red. This has led many to speculate that Francine has become She-Bat, which does happen in some comics. There's also a misconception that Kirk Langton went back to her body, but this occurs literally when Kirk is locked up at a GCPD. Man-Bat escapes. If you play on Halloween, or set your date to Halloween, and play Arkham Knight and just grapple around, you will get jumpscared by Man-Bat. If you return to GCPD, you will see that the cell holding Kirk was destroyed, and Man-Bat has escaped. Croc in sewers in Arkham Shadow. During the start of the game, when you are traversing the sewers, head to this location and you can hear Croc growling. Edward Burke. Edward Burke is the founder of what would be Seagate Amusement Park, and the father of Katie Burke. His comic counterpart is the villain Planet Master. 5 years after the birth of Katie, she became terminally ill, and while at Gotham General, Edward was approached by Harley Quinn, using her real name Harleen Quinzel, who told Burke to construct a amusement park for Katie, which Katie then showed him drawings of what she envisioned, which then Edward showed to Harley. After this, Edward Burke would meet Joker, who was going under the alias Jack White. Devastating news about Katie's condition led to Joker recommending Dr. Young to Edward for her services. However, Young used a special treatment, but was very secretive about it to Edward. Seagate would eventually be built, but had some trouble with the Gotham City Council, as they nearly shut down the park due to numerous OSHA violations, but Joker killed them all, and the council eventually backed off. 1 week later, Katie would unfortunately pass away. The cause of death was revealed to be a drug overdose by the special treatment from Dr. Young, implied to be Titan, as Joker told her to triple the dosage. As for Edward Burke, this happens.
Better. She says the pain will just get worse, and that there's no point in going on. She's right. She always is. I signed the park over to Jack, and my only hope is that he does something inspiring with it. As for me, I'll be with Katie soon. These pills Jack gave me will make sure of that. They're supposed to be painless.
Definitely one of the darkest stories in the entire franchise. Mad Hatter has no skeleton in Arkham Origins. When turning on Detective Vision in view of Mad Hatter, you can see that he has no skeletal structure. This has led many to theorise that Clayface impersonated Mad Hatter, and the real one is somewhere else. However, it's likely it's just a mistake on WB Montreal's part, as Basil Carlo is just a simple impressionist in Origins, as revealed by posters in the game. But there are other Clayfaces, so who knows at this rate. Happy Unicorn TV. On Bleak Island at these coordinates, there is a small area of a TV and a shopping cart. If you pull out the remote hacking device and use it at this specific part of the area, the TV will come to life and an 8-bit unicorn will appear on the TV, with the word Happy Unicorn displayed. Definitely a weird and random Easter egg. Didn't I kill you already? If you play as Robin on the Joker's Carnival map, one of the lines Joker will say is,
What? Didn't I kill you already? No? Well, there's always time, right? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Robin!
This is a subtle nod to Jason Todd, which is quite creepy looking back at with the context of Arkham Knight's story. Ian Chase. This is the name of the man who killed Carissa Rodriguez and Horace Riley at Crime Alley, the same place where Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered. The victims were friends with Bruce, and Chase was in a relationship with Carissa, but she left him with Horace, who was Chase's best friend. After investigating the crime scene, Batman finds Chase and interrogates him, leading to this scene.
What do you think you're doing? Do you know who I am?
I know exactly who you are. You didn't do it for money. You didn't even do it for love.
You're choking me. I can't breathe.
Not out of jealousy, not out of anger. You did it because you're a small, selfish, malicious...
Sir, is everything all right? Your vital signs are rather erratic.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Chase is later incarcerated at Blackgate Prison and appears in Arkham Shadow as a minor character, forming an alliance with Ferris Boyle. However, Chase is taken away and becomes one of Jonathan Crane's test subjects, and is heavily implied to have died by him. Green-eyed crows. These are a type of crows that appear somewhat frequently in Arkham Origins. They can be seen outside the My Alibi nightclub just before you go fight Bird, and on one of the challenge maps in the Initiation DLC. They can also be seen in Wonderland, though their eyes are more white than green. Some people theorize that the birds are related to Bane in a way, but it's still unclear as of now. Failed Titan Henchman. If you head to this area while in the abandoned chamber for the first time, a thug will suddenly appear out the pipe, startling the player. The thug has many deformities to his body due to how the Titan wasn't compatible with him, leading to Joker to dispose of the body. Will you marry me? On Bleak Island, there's a small area of a bench looking out at the Gotham Sea. On the bench are a myriad of items. However, there's a bouquet of flowers saying marry me. This was most likely an arranged proposal that someone did for their significant other. But due to Scarecrow evacuating the city, it never happened, leading us to speculate if the couple even survived or not. If they didn't, then it's a very tragic end. 4-25. On the Wayne Manor challenge map in Arkham Knight, there is a secret board that can be accessed by interacting with the piano. On the board are some cryptic messages about things like if Penguin knows or finding a witness. However, at the bottom is a cell with the numbers 4-25. This Easter egg was then revealed to be a tease to Arkham VR, with the messages serving as plot points for the game, and 4-25 being Joker's cell in the dream. 4-25 is also a reference to Joker's first appearance in comics, April 25th, 1940. Joe Chill at the therapy session. During the therapy session in Arkham Shadow, Malone, who is Bruce undercover, will talk about his parents' murder, to which if you look at Joe Chill, you can see him look away in guilt, seemingly being reminded of that night in Crime Alley. Creepy Rocksteady employee photos in Arkham Asylum. In areas across the asylum, you can find disturbing images of people, mostly with the camera close to their faces. These are pictures made by the developers of Rocksteady, and they did well to freak the players out that came across them. Titan Joker concept art. In early concept art for Titan Joker, he was going to look much more scary, as seen here. He was depicted to be much more skinnier and more lanky, with the bones sticking out more. Ultimately, they went with the design we all know, but it would have been nice to see that interpretation in the game. Alternate Arkham City ending. During a section in Stranger's Vault, Catwoman has a choice. She can either save Batman, but that would mean she have to leave the riches behind, or leave Arkham City with the riches. Doing the latter ends the game, and this creepy call from Oracle happens.
Joker's forces are too strong. My father's dead. Hell, everybody's dead. We're going to lose. Wayne Manor has been compromised. Joker's won. I can't believe I'm saying this. He's won. There's nothing we can do. Bruce is dead. He's gone. They're all gone. If you can hear this, send help, please.
After this, the game rewinds back to the vault so the player can make the right choice. During the rewind, there's a secret piece of dialogue from Joker saying,
Thank you for the entertainment.
Tier 5. Thomas and Martha Wayne's bodies appear during crime scene. While investigating the murder of Horace Riley and Carissa Rodriguez, there is a part where mysteriously, Batman's parents appear physically on the ground where the chalk outline of their bodies are. They then disappear after a couple more seconds. A very bizarre Easter egg, if you ask me. Quincy Sharp's fate. After the events of Arkham City, Quincy Sharp's reputation was ruined beyond repair, and he was sent to prison after his signature was found on documents that showed he provided the gangs of Arkham City with weapons. He began to hallucinate Hugo Strange, who persuaded Sharp to take his own life. Sharp then uses the bedsheets and the cell's light fixture to hang himself, a disturbing end to a character who's been with us since the first game. Man-Bat in Arkham City. When Arkham City released in 2011, many players reported seeing Man-Bat in the game, with a lot of these sightings at the church when the bell tower exploded. These claims seem supported by the fact that underneath the bell tower is a rat that's been eaten by an unknown animal. However, just like with the King Bat in Origins, this was debunked in Arkham Knight, which showed Kirk becoming Man-Bat for the first time. Ratcatcher's fate. Revealed in the background lore of Arkham City, Ratcatcher tried to enter the black market by selling items that were acquired by his rats. This eventually attracted the attention of the Penguin, who deemed this as a threat to his operations. Flanagan is then found by Penguin and his men, and dragged into the museum, where he was tortured and then thrown into Tiny the Shark's domain. There is a comic which reveals that Ratcatcher survived this encounter, but lost his arm and eye. He attempts to kill Hush, however the Arkham Knight intervenes and kills Ratcatcher by frying him alive. However, this comic has likely been made non-canon, as Flanagan is a white Caucasian male in this, but in Arkham Shadow, he's African American. Woody is possessed. In Arkham Shadow, if you go into the detective mode equivalent, while as matches, you can see that the source of Woody talking is from the doll itself, and not Arnold Wesker, which is impossible for a ventriloquist. This led many to speculate the doll was actually haunted, as it does come from an old tree that was used to hang inmates from death row. Catwoman must die. This is an ominous message left by Two-Face if you return back to Catwoman's apartment after her final DLC mission. Catwoman even has some dialogue relating to this.
Oh, for the love of...
The Ghost. In the Catwoman's Revenge and Flip of the Coin DLC in Arkham Knight, folks will speak about Batman's ghost.
Hey, where's Johnny? Ghost got him a few days back, down by the docks.
For God's sakes, guys, I'm sick of hearing about this ghost. There ain't no ghost, okay? Batman's gone. Who's after us? What if it's a ghost? What if it's Batman's ghost? Oh, God!
Since these DLCs take place after the events of Arkham Knight, these folks are talking about the fear-gas demon Batman that we saw at the end of the Nightfall Protocol cutscene. Eye Optical Illusion in Arkham City. Scattered around Arkham City is this graffiti art depicting an eye. What's creepy about it is that it's an optical illusion because the eye looks at you when you're moving around in the general vicinity of it. It could be a reference in-universe by the thugs to show that you are always being watched in Arkham City. More on this later. Secret room near Panessa Studios. Near Panessa Studios, there's this hidden room that has no objective with it. No riddle, nothing. It's just there for some reason. There have been some speculation regarding this room, particularly from YouTubers such as Knode, who theorized that the room was going to be Zaz's hideout in his cut side mission. I'll link his video in the description if you're interested in that. Where's Talia's body? In Arkham City, Talia is shot and killed by Joker. However, when the Clayface boss fight starts, her body is nowhere to be seen in the Monarch Theatre. This is most likely a mistake on Rocksteady's part. But in Arkham Knight, however, at Elliot Memorial Hospital, we can find where a body would be stored at the morgue alongside the people that died during the Paulie's Diner incident. But what's strange is that her body is not there. This led many to speculate that Nyssa has taken Talia and revived her, but nothing in the game really implies that, so it's still up in the air as of now. John F. Baker. When Batman first enters the Coventry GCR comms tower and reaches the end of it, he's met with a crime scene where an individual named David Shannon was killed via a booby-trapped access panel. It is then revealed that the culprit was John F. Baker, but what's strange is that Baker was killed sometime after the murder. His body recovered from the Diamond District. It's likely that Enigma, who hired Baker, had him killed as well to tie up loose ends. Red Hood drawings in Arkham Asylum. In a penitentiary, there are many cells with cryptic drawings in them, presumably being made by the inmates there. Some of the drawings depict a person with a red face being held like a puppet by someone. There's also a drawing of Batman and Joker's face. People speculate that the red-faced individual is Jason Todd, and that he drew the images, but considering the drawings everywhere, I doubt it. And the Arkham Knight was probably not planned back then. Still unnerving though. Maxi Zeus's disappearance. Maxi Zeus is a very minor character in the Arkham lore, but what's known about him is he thinks he's the avatar of the Greek god Zeus, and after one too many rounds of electroshock therapy, Maxi Zeus disappeared off the face of the earth. However, in his absence, the club at the amusement mall is still running, which led to people speculating he's there. The Arkham Wiki suggests that he was possibly killed during Protocol 10, but it's all still a mystery. Tier 6. Feeling of being watched in Arkham Asylum. Have you ever felt like an external force is watching you in Arkham Asylum, particularly after beating the main story and while collecting Riddler trophies? This is probably because, aside from a few NPCs in the buildings, and some lunatics in the open world, which don't even respawn when you take them out, you are truly alone, and there's no music, just a player entering liminal spaces and hearing the fireworks in the sky, paired with the eerie asylum ambience. This feeling has become a phenomenon in the community, with posts related to this uploaded to sites like Reddit, with some of the comments even agreeing with the op. Creepy church ambience in Arkham Origins. At the church in Arkham Origins, there is a very creepy ambience which no one has posted about or even talked about online. Take a listen to it. It sounds like a ghost or some choir. Could the church be haunted? Who knows? All-Seeing Eye in Arkham Origins. In the courthouse, you can find this graffiti art made by Anarchy, depicting the All-Seeing Eye above a ton of skulls. The All-Seeing Eye is associated with the Illuminati, which in real life was a secret society in the 1770s, before being wiped out in the 1780s. But in the conspiracy theory scene, some people believe that they are still around and manipulating politics and events. Anarchy even calls the Court of Owls Gotham's Illuminati in Arkham Shadow. Maybe the graffiti art could be referring to that? I don't know. Joker clone theory. During the early days of Arkham City, a popular theory arose that Joker cloned himself before his death. The evidence was that in Harley Quinn's Revenge, there were posters regarding Cadmus Labs, which is a cloning research facility in DC canon, and responsible for creating Superboy. This led people to believe that in the sequel to City, Joker's clone would be the main antagonist. However, with the release of Arkham Knight, none of this ever happened, and the clone theory has ultimately been put to rest. Secret Croc death scene. During the scene where Croc is charging at you and you need to blow up the floor beneath him, if you just let him grab you, this disturbing scene will play. Dog barking in Arkham City. If you pay close attention to the ambience in Arkham City, you can occasionally hear a dog barking.
Joker's dead. Strange is dead. What now?
This is strange because there's no physical dogs that can be seen in the game. It's likely these are just stray dogs, as there are cats around in Arkham City. Arkham Asylum fog designs in Arkham Origins. In the sewers in Arkham Origins, you can encounter an eerie sight with creepy dolls all over the place, but what's so bizarre is that there's an henchman deceased there with the Arkham Asylum fog design. Like, why would this be here? Like, maybe it's got something to do with Joker? I don't know. Thomas Armbruster. This is the name of a trainee guard at Arkham Asylum, and he has an interesting fate as you can either save him or get him killed. If you walk to the flooded corridor room without deactivating the electrified water, this scene will occur.
You need to stop this now, before it goes too far.
Stop? But everyone's dying to see what I do next.
Let him go now.
Really? Okay, if you say so, then. Whoopsie! No! You really need to speed things up, Bats.
If you deactivate the electrified water before going into the flooded corridor for the first time, a similar scene will play. However, Armbruster isn't present. It's unknown what is the canon end for Armbruster, but I'd like to think he made it out alive. Dr. Chen's disappearance. In Arkham Asylum, one of the doctors you save at the medical center is Dr. Adrian Chen, who was held captive at the surgery room. What's strange is after you save him, it's like he's been erased from existence because he's nowhere to be seen, and he isn't seen with the other doctors that have barricaded themselves at the patient observation room. Theories regarding Chen's disappearance are he found a way off Arkham Island, went to another hiding spot that can't be accessed by Batman, or was killed by Joker's men after Batman left the medical center. There's also the belief that developers simply forgot to add him in with the others at the patient observation room. Whatever it is, I doubt we'll ever get an answer to this mystery as he's never been mentioned in any other Arkham game, and it's been nearly 17 years since then. Amadeus Arkham's grave. A popular video on YouTube claimed that you can hear creepy noises at Amadeus Arkham's grave, particularly a clicking noise. It's hard to tell with the fireworks in the background, but when going there without the fireworks, I don't think there's any clicking noise. While researching this entry, a video titled Ghost of Amadeus Arkham Found in Batman Arkham Asylum appeared on the search results. It's a 36-long YouTube video of Batman walking around until the game freezes and a weird sound plays, but when Batman turns around, a dark figure appears and the game crashes. The video is obviously a hoax, and the dark figure is just an edited image of Amadeus Arkham's character bio, but I appreciate the effort into it. It reminds me of the old FNaF hoaxes like Sparky in FNaF 1, and the dark figure in the hallway in FNaF 2. Bailey. Bailey is the name of a Two-Face thug. That means a really gruesome end. Take a listen.
Just like Bailey. Yeah, just like Bailey. Two-Face put him on a big-ass industrial saw and cut him clean in half. You're kidding. Does he look like he's kidding? We had to clean it up. Have you ever seen what comes out of someone when they're cut in half? Can't say I have. It's nasty. Bits of liver, heart, whatever he had for lunch that day, and the smell. Oh, it's freaking horrible.
Joker's policy. According to some fog dialogue at the industrial district, there is a daily policy in regards to Joker's crew, and some of them are quite disturbing.
So, what's the policy today? Word is we shoot every sorry-ass loser that comes this way. Okay. Wait a second. Doesn't Joker's PA say he takes anyone? We do. Today, however, we shoot him. Yesterday, we took him in the back room and burned off their skin.
Rat in the vent near Dr. Young's office. In the vent that leads to Dr. Young's office, there is a tonic near the vent exit. Also in the vent, you can find 2 dead rats, with one appearing larger than the other, making it likely that the rat drank from whatever was in that tonic and changed, and then killed the other rat and then somehow died. Tier 7. Arkham City Entity. This is an urban legend that arose in 2022 on TikTok. It goes that if you play Arkham City at night or during 3 AM, you'll encounter the Arkham City Entity, and if you do, he will crash your game. Sightings of him were reported to be in Wonder City and the museum. Yeah, this is fake. And you want to know some lore? I'm the guy that made it on TikTok. It's really stupid looking back, but I don't know how it even went viral to begin with. Still, I look back on it with nostalgia. It was fun to make all those videos back then. You will become as one. This is an ominous message found in an alleyway on Miyagani Island that says, you will become as one. It's written in the same style as the words near Professor Pig's victims, but because there's no victim here, it's probably not from Pig. People think this message is foreshadowing to the end of the game, where Bruce and Batman in a way become one when Scarecrow reveals his identity to the world. Others also believe it's a reference to how Batman and Joker will become one. If the latter is true, then someone else knows about Batman and Joker's internal battle, as it's there after the main story, proving it's not a Joker hallucination. Ultimately, Ultimately, it's kinda up in the air as to what the message means, but it's probably one of those two options I listed. Catman Creepypasta. Creepypastas are horror stories that are made and shared around the internet in order to scare readers from all across the globe. Examples of creepypastas are Slenderman, Jeff the Killer, The Rake, and The Russian Sleep Experiment. One of Arkham's creepypastas is regarding the character Catman, and his supposed side mission by the Dark Cat 97. In the story, it was a snowy night and the protagonist started to play Arkham Origins. After he defeats Lady Shiva, he gets a call from Jim Gordon telling Batman that Catman has been spotted in the subways underneath Jezebel Plaza, with the side mission Cat's Cradle being unlocked. The player went inside the subway and found blood all over the walls, and once he found Catman, the player noted that the character looked messed up. The boss fight was difficult according to the player, comparing it to Killer Croc's boss fight, as you had to throw a batarang to disarm Catman and dodge his attacks. There were also many large species of cats that would attack Batman. Catman would speak about how humanity had betrayed the feline race, as they were being hunted and killed or locked in cages. He then grabs a police officer and throws him with the cats, and it's a very gruesome death. After this, another battle happens, and Batman eventually defeats Catman, and the player turns off the game, traumatized over what happened. The Cursed Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC. This is another creepypasta, created by, this time, Tiffany Washer for you. The protagonist buys a used copy of Arkham City at GameStop. His copy was fine for the most part, but the player noticed some differences, such as Penguin not being in the glass exhibit cage after Batman puts him in there, and also the player was able to go back in the Monarch Theatre and down to the Lazarus Pit. He got stuck there, so he reset the game. When he played Harley Quinn's Revenge, it was also fine until he got to the part with the Scarface doll in the crib. However, alongside the doll was a deceased infant, which caused the player to freak out and even had Batman gasp in shock. Then a loud scream was heard from Harley Quinn, and Batman was knocked out to the ground by her baseball bat, with Harley crying uncontrollably. The game faded to black, but then it came back, with Batman on the floor in the Joker shrine room, with the song Only You being heard in the background. The player then notices that Joker is inside the glass ball the Joker statue is holding, but the player freaks out once Joker moves its head upward. The player immediately takes out its disc and puts it back in the case and into the closet. He theorizes that someone may have tampered with his copy, which explains why it's different from the rest of the normal Arkham City copies, and vows never to play that specific version of Arkham City ever again. Cyrus Pinckney took Lazarus. A theory that's emerged recently is that the concoction that Amadeus Arkham gives to Cyrus that allowed him to fake his death was Lazarus. The evidence is that after Cyrus took the concoction, his personality took a U-turn, as in his final journal page, he sounds more murderous, especially when he says, Henry Colport will pay for what he's done. This matches up with Lazarus due to what it did to the citizens of Wonder City. Another bit of evidence is that even the keenest physicians presume Cyrus is dead. But what if he actually was, but then a Lazarus brought him back to life? Cool theory, and it could be canon, but where and how did Amadeus Arkham get Lazarus from? That's a mystery in of itself. You are being watched all the time in Arkham City. Think about it. You have Tiger watching you from the cameras and the helicopters. You have Azra on the rooftops watching you, and possibly the villains like Riddler and the others also keeping tabs on Batman. So the question is Batman ever truly alone in Arkham City? And that's finally the end of the iceberg. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed it, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, because if you like FNaF, that's my main content here. And if you don't, well, I do non-FNaF videos on the occasion, so you could stay for that. I do want to preface that there were some entries that I didn't say, mainly because I thought I knew it when I added them on. But when actually writing the script, I was like, yeah, what the hell is this? But I did have some extra entries while making a script, so win-win for us. Anyways, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the flip side. Goodbye!